There's a dude who's done nothing but Dark Souls 1 for years. Yeah, because there's just so much lore in that game. And that's it. There's almost no story. Like, the first thing that happens in Dark Souls, and this is definitely insane, like, you land, you have no idea where to go. Some dude, in a really condescending tone, tells you about 2 bells you have to ring.
Yeah.
That's it. Then you're like, well, where do I go now? I guess I'll go around and do stuff. And then you go into the graveyard and die and don't play the game for 6 months, like most people did. Or you go the right way up to the Undead Burg, and then you're just like constantly like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, okay, I'm now in a forest. This forest is scary. I'm going to go back upstairs. Oh, I'm getting inside the church, and now I've been killed. Where do I go? Fuck. I guess I'll figure something out. And that's the experience you could... There's nothing discounting that experience from existing in World of Warcraft as horizontal content. It just needs Blizzard to actually man up and say, listen, motherfuckers, play the game the way we tell you to play the game. And that's going to be... Not for everyone. If you are... they could go for the old Wolfenstein style of difficulty and just go, you're too pansy for this zone. I don't think they would do that.
No.
But it's because of, hey, this is for people who want to have a relaxed time and kind of pick out things about the zone. And this isn't going to handhold you. You're going to have to look around and think and pay attention to stuff. Go for it.
I 100% agree.
Yep.
We need to just start being daring.
Yeah.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Evolution needs to happen.
Yeah, be brief.
Yeah, instead of just like, what's the latest zone that can be turned into just a bunch of guides and WoW and a bunch of articles, and there you go.
Yep.
Because that ultimately turns them all into the same thing.
Yep.
So I wonder. And by the way, none of this is to talk shade in Wowhead or anything like that.
No,
we're just purely talking, because if Wowhead wasn't there, the game would be pretty messy. We're just talking about how do we construct zones and what could WoW do? And speaking, I suppose, of that, there was another thing that I believe was just it was a tweet. It was a tweet. Yep. I liked this tweet from Booker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cannot stress how the amount of little townships and villages just made me happy. Jade Forest is just a part of why MoP feels like WoW's world building at its best, without making every inch of the zone an excuse to murder people. I miss this so much. And yeah, this is a thing. Our modern zones are like just string together gameplay bits.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's probably been true to a degree. Maybe it was just better masked.
In Jade Forest was very string together gameplay zones, but there was a lot of stuff that was later side quests or wasn't important for a long time, so it felt bigger.
Yeah, and just thinking about like making zones to be immersive parts of a world first, then it feeling like the quests are there. And I always level it to be like, even when you feel like it's that, it's not like that. And like, I know, but that's the feeling we want to get.
Yeah.
And
we're not interested in the realities, we're interested in the experience.
Yeah, I suppose just some comparisons with the Shadowlands maps.
Yeah.
I think, Ardenweald I was the most disappointed by, because so much of it ended up just being grey goop.
Yeah. See, one of the things that, because I was thinking about this and going, right, how do we, because full transparency, I'm a bastard. I was like, how do we nail Blizzard over their zone design being shit these days? And like, I was thinking like, I think it's a lot more about the experience than it is about the reality.
Yeah.
Because Jade Forest is a load of string together gameplay zones and side quests. Why did it feel so much more real than Bastion? Why does it feel so much more real than Ardenweald? And it's like the differences are really subtle, and I think they're too subtle for, I think they're too subtle for even me to pick up on without really meditating on, and I think about the shit all the time. So it's like this is the job of the designers of Blizzard to figure out what's happening, and I think I'd like to just sort of see the idea that here everything is really designed tightly for World Quest, and you can go just tiny side quest hubs and go about your day. I think there's probably improvements to make.
Probably. I think it helps that this is like exploring place where people lived.
Yep.
Whereas with Bastion and stuff, I suppose it's more like, Bastion and all of that, they're not really as like relatable as places. Whereas I think you could see yourself almost like living in Jade Forest.
Yeah, that's probably
especially for Valley of the Thousand Winds.
4 Winds.
4 Winds. The 1,000 Winds. That's a lot more winds. Yeah, Valley of the 4 Winds. Which also, and I guess it also wasn't afraid to have like vast open expanses too, which is quite nice. And I think more, it's like the gameplay, it's just they feel like, boom, tight gameplay zone. Whereas I think some of just wider, expanses. This is something like even, FF actually does get in some of its zones as well. Yeah, I think would be strong. So it's something to think about, something to muse over.
Yeah. I think it also might just be something to do with the fact that the zones are designed not just for quests, but for secrets. And I think that's really cool because that's the one thing I'm also dissatisfied with Shadowlands zones, but the more I try to think sort of objectively, they were really nicely put together and a lot of secrets are really cool. Yeah. It's just that a lot of people got destroyed by handy notes and getting the adventure achievements as opposed to doing things naturally and linearly. Because I would love to go back and do Bastion again, but without just having markers on my map to tell me, oh, pick up the Purians here, put them on these plates. Because I did that for speed, and I don't know if that was a good experience or not. So would that have been better if I'd turned off handy notes? I probably would have enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
Would have taken me longer, but I've enjoyed it more.
Then that's really hard for the developers.
Yeah.
Because they know people are going to use handy notes.
Yeah.
And they also know that people want handy notes because the thing that they want is the progress.
Yeah.
So I really...
Yeah.
Yeah, I empathize with him in that.
I feel so bad.
I know that whenever I play Zereth Mortis, I will use handy notes to orient myself if I'm not very sure about something, but generally speaking, I just go do my dailies, do the world quests, and, I bump into what I bump into. And that's why I enjoyed day one of Zereth Mortis so much.
Yeah.
I found there's a little chicken thingy. How do I do the chicken thing? I don't know yet. Just all those. The one where you've got to click through the vines, then open up the thing, then activate the things.
Teleporter lock. And,
yeah, and it was like, oh, I just discovered that myself. It was really cool. I know that if I did that as a part of, blasting through the map icons, then all of the heart that was poured into that by whoever made it just wouldn't have really landed with me.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to me.
So I really empathize with those devs because they evidently make the bits really well.
Yep. Yeah. Kill handy notes. Kill add-ons. Kill add-ons, Ted. Job done.
As time goes on, it's really weird. It's is it all... It's less usable if the way to play it is with another monitor.
Yeah.
But do you at least feel like you're working? I don't know. It's really weird because the add-ons are certainly... It feels weird without them, right?
I think that there's... Yeah. It's going to be difficult because there's so many UI problems that add-ons ultimately solve. There's so many gameplay problems that it solves. And obviously customization of add-ons means people have done exceptional work. And add-on devs do incredible work, but the game would be better without them. I fundamentally believe that. And that's not a snipe at add-ons being bad. That's add-ons solving usability problems that we shouldn't solve. It's the same reason as, you've got a phone in your pocket full of all the information in the world. What good does it do most people?
Yeah, I suppose maybe more people would play Elden Ring for longer or whatever if you could just get an Elden Ring add-on that gave you a quest log and gave you, treasure icons. Basically, Ubisoftified it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know that must be very much me defining something you like.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? This is interesting. I technically spoiled myself and know for sure that the quest I was doing led to an ending. But I never knew that. I only guessed it because I thought about where it was going and the dialogue. And I was like, this seems like, philosophically speaking, this seems like a different ending to what the rest of the game is philosophically leading me towards. And that was, to me, it's like, I just refuse to look anything up because I instinctively know that's going to kill how much I enjoy that game. And now I think, did I do the same in Shadowlands? Did I dislike Shadowlands leveling zones and Zereth Mortis because add-ons removed all the mystery? Removed all the exploration, removed all the kind of joy of finding. And then I think I said to you, I had the same feeling whenever I was walking home, was it last week, I think? I looked up and I was like, I saw the infinite abyss that it was nighttime. And I was like, maybe I don't know what the hell I was on. That's quite profound. And then I thought, well, what's beyond that veil of darkness? And I went, it's the stars and shit, right? Then I just like the stars. Yeah, they're all just planets and different planets, loads of different planets. Maybe some of them are cool, but it's just the atmosphere in the sky. I was like, well, I know what it was, and that immediately came in. And this profound sense of curiosity I have just got shot in the back of the head by my science brain going, stars, dude, planets. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Does the same line up for knowing what's in the zone in World of Warcraft?
Does it line up when you know that it's all part of the, I don't know, the first one's big flashlight to get all the life cummies out of everyone?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know, when you know of everything, or not everything, but oh, there's a Zareth installation and everything, and all leads back to Azeroth, and here's a chart.
Yeah.
Does that rob a lot of the fucking fantasy and curiosity? And in a way, could you say that this modern lore push that has been sort of, pushed on by the current interests of the current narrative team, it's like, okay, there, lore explorers, have you jumped the shark? Or like, have you given us information that would fundamentally change how we actually engage in this universe?
Yes.
It's like, what are all the things that, say, George Martin knows about the world of Game of Thrones that he chose not to publish in... basically, there's almost like a Warcraft Chronicle Game of Thrones book. I forget its name. Is it World of Ice and Fire? Yeah. But like, what are all the things that he knew but decided not to put in that? In the same way, there's lots of things for like even Pale Beyond that we know we're not going to tell you. It's like, we're not going to tell you because it's not important and it would make it worse if you knew.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, it's interesting, it's cool to us, but it wouldn't be cool to you, so it would make the game worse and it would be bad for the pacing.
Yeah.
It's like, that's knowing what ideas are going to be good for the game or not good for the game, even though that idea might be good for the world or interesting in the world. Like, it's really important to be able to delineate between those and only put the things in the thing that are actually, really have a place there.
Yeah, you have to design the experience.
Oh, yeah.
Which is the important part.
Yeah, you're not just there to make lore and transfer it. You're there to make lore and then design the lore experience, which is different from just knowing all the lore.
Yeah. I mean, there's someone saying, why not play without add-ons? You're like, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a great point.
In 10.0, I think I'll do that.
Yeah.
I think I'll go, I'm going to get the adventure achievement, because I'm sure they'll do an adventure achievement of Galacross Prime, whatever the island's going to be called in the Dragon Isles, which definitely was going to be. But if they have an adventure achievement, I'm going to try to do it without it. And then I'm going to go back and say one of two things. Either, oh my God, please delete add-ons, or, oh my God, this game's fucking terrible. One of those two.
Yeah, and... Like, there's this side of talking about add-ons. I think the other one then is just what it does to boss fights. And how people see all of that.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I guess if we had more simple dance fights and add-ons weren't there, it would probably make some of the fights better.
Yeah, because how much of a fight is engaging with UI elements versus the boss? Is there a difference there in terms of what's important and what people find fun? Isn't to say one's inherently better, but it's just, why are we doing things one way? Like you said earlier about the path not taken.
Yeah, that's what I think about.
Yeah.
So, interesting. And you know what? There's been some thoughts about, Lordaeron comes back. One of the things like Valoran came back, it'd just be nice going to everywhere and be like, oh, what's this? What's up with this town? What's up with that town? What's going on? Yep. I just want to be back to that grounded setting. My favorite bits of Shadowlands were the, either the Carrion going back to Redridge or, being Uther in Underhull.
Yeah.
It's like, those were, for me, the best bits of the Shadowlands because they were when the level of fantasy and madness in the lore suddenly just went back to being like, we are people. We are people, our boots are firmly on the ground. We have an immediate problem to solve, and, this just feels like a nice place to be. I mean, even though I'm sitting there being eaten by zombies while I don't have enough shotgun shots to protect my family.
Yep.
In case of that quest. But I thought it was a great quest, and you know that because I've probably mentioned it in every stream for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of... That quest has a feeling.
It does.
And the Teldrassil rescue quest had a feeling. Very few quests have a feeling that put you in a place that you feel and care about. And those did it. Yeah.
Yeah.